coming in. We'll talk about them a little later. But we're also talking about how the latest smartphone could make it easier for developers to tap into a rapidly expanding market for what's known as augmented reality.
The technology is a mix of real life and computer-generated objects. They're superimposed onto real-world environments through the phone's camera. Virtual reality is different. That's when you create a whole new computer-generated world.
But together, the two technologies are set to grow fivefold by the end of the decade. And one company that's hoping to benefit from the trend is a company called VirtualSpeech. The business is developing VR experiences, and it's going to help users improve their public speaking.
The software can drop you into a variety of daunting scenarios like a boardroom, a job interview, a networking event where you're expected to deliver a speech.
Well, VirtualSpeech has already been downloaded by over 150,000 users, and I'm pleased to say Sophie Thompson is with us. She's a co-founder of the business. Sophie, nice to see
Morning,
you. Welcome
Sophie.
to the programme. We've got loads of responses to this on social media, so we'll talk about some of those in a minute, and including one that's just come in from Wahab, who says, "My worst fear during a presentation is people telling me to shut up." So that may be to do with the content, Wahab, but nonetheless. Sophie, tell us about the business, because we explained a little bit there. You wear the headset, you wear something like this.
Yeah.
And that will put you in the scenario that you might find yourself in on stage.
Yes.
How does it work?
So you put your mobile phone into the headset and then you select the environment that you want to practice in. So if you selected a conference room, you'd be immersed in a conference room with a photorealistic audience looking at you. And then you can receive feedback on your speech, such as how many filler words you use, how many ums, ahs, your tone and your pace.
Who's downloading your app?
Our biggest market is in India, and then probably America, and then the UK.
And is it students, or is it young people, or do you have that kind of knowledge as to who's downloading?
It's mainly a younger audience because of the technology, really. But we have companies and universities who use it as well to train their employees in their learning and development initiatives.
So the point is that the people in the audience would be, I mean, for many people, if you're making any sort of public speech, whether it's, you know, a best man speech at a wedding or you're at a conference for work, it's that idea of being in front of so many people. So, I mean, does it really work when you know they're not real? Because the fear, of course, is that they're all real, they're all waiting to see what you're talking about. You know, can you really recreate that with something like this?
Yeah, if you've tried virtual reality, you'll know that it seems very realistic, and there's something about it that tricks your brain into thinking you're actually there. So we've had plenty of feedback from people that when they've put it on, they've been terrified because there's been loads of people looking at them, but obviously they're not real. And if you go on the app stores, we've had lots of reviews, and even people who suffer with autism saying that it's helped them just in general social life.
Now, just tell us about your journey, because were you 26 when you came up with the idea, or younger?
22. I'm
22.
now 24.
You're 24. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know where I got 20. I'm aging you. I don't know where I got 26 from. But you started this when you were at Warwick University with your co-founder. You came up with the idea, and then you were sort of snapped up by Silicon Valley. Tell us more.
So we came up with the idea when I was studying at Warwick Business School, because both of us hated public speaking, so it's a miracle I'm here today. And
it's obviously worked for you.
And my co-founder was working in the virtual reality department at Jaguar Land Rover, which is when we thought VR would be a good idea. And then a few months ago, we got contacted by a startup accelerator program in Silicon Valley called Boost VC, who specialise in virtual reality and blockchain technologies. And yeah, we flew out there in February until May.
So you were there for 3 months, you and your co-founder, and I understand it was a flat with bunk beds, and you were there with a whole load of other 20-somethings who had great, fantastic ideas that Silicon Valley liked the look of.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it is another world out there. Everybody has a startup. You meet anybody and you might as well just say, so what's your startup? And so there were lots of us all together.
Like a chat-up line, isn't it? What's your startup?
And what does it let you do? You know, having that sort of, I guess, a bit of financial backing and sort of moral support and technical networking support, you know, how does that let you develop the business? It
really helped us to monetize it, because the basic app is free on the app store, so we wanted to make it into a company, so we need to make money. So it really helped us find out what the customers would really want, what corporations would really want, what universities would really want, because out there everybody knows what virtual reality is, whereas over here people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, whereas out there they know.
Sophie, we could talk all day because I think it's really interesting this, but time's against us. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Sophie
Sophie.
Thompson, co-founder of
24.
VirtualSpeech, and putting us to
Sophie,
shame.
I wonder if you're our youngest
Yeah,
business
quite possibly.
owner yet.
Yeah.
Maybe. I should
That's
think
great.
of that.
Get the crown.
We've had quite a few young
Let me give you that back.
business
Thank
owners
you.
on the programme.
Thank
Nice
you.